Hello there, welcome to the channel. I wanted to start off 2024 right by talking about Star Wars, obviously, but talking about Star Wars video games, because there are a lot in the pipeline, some that are due to come out this year, some that don't have a hard release date yet, and some that I don't think will ever see the light of day. I have 9 games to talk about. Not going to talk about them super in depth. There are a couple of these ones that I'm going to do separate videos of on their own, but let's get started. Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered. Now, if you've never played Dark Forces, it came out on the PlayStation in like 1996. It's essentially Doom, and it's great. I love it. You play as Kyle Katarn, there's like 14 or 15 levels, and it's fun. It's like a little old school first-person shooter. It is getting a full remaster this year, coming out on February 29th, 2024. I can't wait for this. It looks fantastic. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. One of the other games confirmed to come out possibly this year, it's been delayed a few times, is Star Wars Hunters. Now, this is a mobile phone game that's, you can already play. You can grab your phone and play it right now. It's like a little arena shooter brawler type of game. It's kind of cute. It's not really my thing. It is being ported to Switch and possibly some other platforms this year, or it's supposed to be. Not really my thing, but it's worth mentioning. Now, the game that I'm actually really looking forward to this year is Star Wars Outlaws. This game looks pretty good to me, I think so. Anyway, I've seen a lot of people say it's like, oh, a Far Cry clone, but as someone that doesn't actually like the Far Cry games because I don't like the characters or its setting, slap a Star Wars skin on it and hey, I'm kind of there for it. It's being developed by Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment, and you travel the galaxy as a scoundrel K Vess. You can do work for different factions and sort of like the Syndicate and the Cartel of the Hutts and stuff like that, and you sort of got to balance your reputation with all of them. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It's sort of open world / open galaxy. You can fly your ship around, explore each world. There's a bounty system. I want to do another video on this later on, but I think it actually looks really fun. Really looking forward to it. Now, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic had a remake announced a few years ago. I've done a whole video on this game. You can watch that right here. And look, basically, I don't think this game is coming out. There has been so many shifts in studios, people working on it, people not working on it, licenses running out. Who knows what the hell's going on with this game. I don't actually think it's going to see the light of day. Check out my other video on it, though. I go into it a bit more in depth in that one. Maybe, never say never, but I don't think it's looking good for this one ever coming out. Now, Star Wars Eclipse was announced at the Game Awards a few years ago, and it's being developed by Quantic Dream. Now, these are the same developers that did Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human. So this is going to be essentially a very interactive movie where you make split-second choices every now and then, mostly quick-time event stuff. Now, I don't mind those types of games. I don't particularly love them. Again, sort of like the Far Cry situation though, slap a Star Wars skin on it and I'm all there for it. But I'm willing to check this one out, again, if it actually comes out, because it was announced quite a while ago and we haven't really heard much of it since. It is going to be set in the High Republic era, which is something that I really like, because I really like the High Republic. But the trailer that released for this game is all pretty much conceptual. It's not actually anything from the game. This was essentially a proof of concept trailer. But we'll keep an eye on it and see if we get more news of it this year. Now, Respawn is like absolutely killing it with their Star Wars stuff now. They've done Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor from last year, which was one of my favorite games. I'm currently playing through it again on Jedi Grandmaster and getting my ass absolutely kicked. It's really hard on that difficulty. Now, they have confirmed that they are going to begin working on Star Wars Jedi 3, whatever it's going to be called. Cameron Monaghan said they've been talking about it. The only bad part about it is that the director of the first 2 games, Stig Asmussen, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, has left EA and he will not be involved in directing the 3rd game, which is a bit of a shame because I think the first 2 games are actually really good. Probably not going to see this one till like 2027, maybe 26. But Jedi 3 is not the only game that Respawn is actually working on. They actually have another game, untitled as of the moment, that they're working on though, and it's actually going to be a Star Wars first-person shooter. Now, in my humble opinion, for whatever this may count for, Titanfall 2 by Respawn came out in like 2016, I think, is the best first-person shooter ever made. In my opinion, I love that game to bits. I think its campaign, while it's short at like 4 to 5, 6 hours, is one of the best campaigns I've ever played. The movement in that game is fantastic. The gameplay, whether you're a soldier, boots on the ground, or in one of the big titans, is great. I love it. Again, this is like my favorite first-person shooter of all time. I absolutely adore it. If Respawn can take everything that they did in Titanfall 2 and put that into the Star Wars universe, this could be one of the greatest FPSs of all time. Just putting that out there. I know, very level-headed about this one, but my god, I cannot understate how much I love Titanfall 2. If they can put that magic into a Star Wars FPS, I will be like worshipping at the altar of this game. Really can't wait for this. We have no news on it pretty much whatsoever, but really want this game. Now, a new studio was formed recently called BitReactor, and it was made up of a lot of old members of the team at Firaxis who did the games like XCOM. If you don't know, XCOM is a turn-based strategy game where your little soldiers fight against an alien invasion. I love strategy games. I grew up playing them, and XCOM, one of my favorite strategy games of all time. Absolutely adore playing that game. There's actually a great mod for XCOM on PC where you can put like Star Wars into it, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun. It's like the best way to play that game, in my opinion. And so these guys want to actually make that into a legit game, have a XCOM turn-based strategy game with Star Wars, and I love the sound of that. And last but not least, you might remember years and years ago about Amy Hennig at EA doing a Star Wars game. It was going to be like an action-adventure game. We didn't really know a lot of it. I think it was called like Project Ragtag at the time. We didn't get a full title. We didn't really see anything more of the game outside of like a 6-second clip. There was just not enough out there, but it was eventually cancelled by EA and it's never going to see the light of day. Well, Amy Hennig is at a new studio now, Skydance New Media, and they are also working on another Star Wars game. Again, we have very few details on what this is going to be, apart from it being like an action-adventure, probably third-person game. We don't really know a hell of a lot about it, but again, I'm keen. It's a Star Wars game. This is a Star Wars channel. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'll take what we can get. I think EA had like too much of a stranglehold on the IP for too many years where we just didn't get anything. And I really don't think we're going to get a Battlefront 3 from DICE anytime soon. I'd love that though, because I've been playing Battlefront 2 recently and having an absolute blast. But I love Battlefront 2, but I don't think Battlefront 3 is coming anytime soon. Maybe the FPS could take that place, sort of thing. As far as I know, those are all the Star Wars games in development at the moment, at this very point in time. Personally, at the moment, for me, I honestly think Star Wars Outlaws is at the top of that list, and probably Dark Forces right below that because it's so close. At the other end of the spectrum, however, I just don't think that the KOTOR remake is ever going to come out. It just seems dead in the water to me. And just quietly, the original KOTOR still holds up. Just go play that one. It's still great. It's fantastic. But yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Make sure you follow me here on YouTube or on TikTok at Cubcos, a Star Wars TikTok. I'm rambling because I don't know how to end videos, so I will just say, may the Force be with you, and I'll see you next time.